Nvidia is the leader by far in the AI market, and as the leader, it owns and has partnerships with a lot of other AI companies. Now, today's episode, what I want to do is take a closer look at some recent news impacting Nvidia and some recent news impacting companies like CoreWeave, like Navitas, like RXRX, which all kind of saw some massive movements today. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so first, let's just start off with the king of AI, Nvidia. So while Nvidia is down roughly 0.6%, in the past month, the stock is killing it, up over 18.9%, nearly that 20%. And year to date, the stock is up roughly 23.9%. So if you ever want any Nvidia news, this is going to be the best channel. So make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe button right off the bat. So first thing I want to take a closer look at is this came out over the weekend. I forgot to post it, but Sam Altman mentioned we will cross well over 1 million GPUs brought online by the end of this year. Very proud of the team, but now they better get to work figuring out how to 100x that, LOL. So first few things here. They are a massive customer of GPUs. The second thing, which I think is more crucial, is I don't believe they go from 1 million to 100 million GPUs, right? That's not the story. Numbers like this, you don't take them to the true value. But what you do take it is Sam Altman is pretty much saying that this market is still AI compute constrained. And if they have more GPUs, they would definitely be able to, they would want to buy them and buy them. So I think this is just a great indication that the AI market is still pretty healthy with forms of demand, and companies like Nvidia and those that provide AI chips can benefit at least for the foreseeable future. So I saw that as a very bullish case. Now today we did see reports that ChatGPT receives roughly 2.5 billion prompts from global users every day. OpenAI told this kind of Axios, and about 330 million of those are coming from users in the US. So again, that is some crazy amount of prompts. I'm pretty sure the prompts there are a little bit more complex than kind of a Google search. But again, this continues to give me that solidification that Nvidia is going to continue to see strong demand from AI companies, right? Because OpenAI is not the only AI player in town. We also have great leaders like xAI, like Gemini, which I believe is going to be a beast, and other players as well, Perplexity, and the list goes on and on. So if OpenAI is seeing this massive amount of demand, I'm pretty sure all the other players are seeing similar type of demand growth. And to me, that's going to be bullish not only for AI accelerators, but for AI infrastructure. Now, the final thing here is make sure to check out my free newsletter, whatthechiphappened.com. But I did talk about it that this week, this upcoming Wednesday, we actually do have Gemini or Alphabet's reporting earnings. Now, this is going to be crucial as an Nvidia investor because they're going to give us a great layout of what we're seeing with the AI demand, what we're seeing with capital expenditure. So these are, I would consider, the three biggest updates that have happened over the past 48 hours for Nvidia. Now, I want to jump into some of the partner players. So we're going to look at CoreWeave. So CoreWeave right now was up roughly about 1.5% on the day. In the past 5 days, though, this stock has kind of taken a hit. In the past month, the stock is down roughly 28%. But year to date, this stock is still destroying it with 212% gains. Now, if you've been watching this channel, we talked about CoreWeave in the 40s. I was saying I did not like that run up. I kind of sold out a nice amount of my positions here. I'm still feeling a little indefinite right now, but obviously a lot of the risk has kind of been eliminated. Now with CoreWeave, we did see the following on July 21st, which I believe is today. Yep. CoreWeave announced intentions to offer $1.5 billion of senior notes that are going to be due in 2031. So this is something CoreWeave is doing. They are building more and more debt. They mentioned that CoreWeave intends to use the proceeds from the offerings of the notes for general corporate purposes, including, without limitations, repayment of outstanding indebtedness and to pay fees, costs, and expenses in connections with the offering of the notes. So there's two ways to look about it. Obviously, the AI investor could be like, yo, this is pretty, I don't know what I say, yo, but this could be pretty great for the AI infrastructure space, as this pushes CoreWeave to say we need to build more and more AI infrastructure. So you want to build even more and more capital to be able to fund that. The other thing is this could actually just be CoreWeave just trying to push out some debt to later on. So they might have some debt coming in pretty soon. And what they want to do is use this 1.5 billion to pay that off and then just owe it until 2031. So, I mean, not necessarily the best news, but kind of just building debt and kind of what they're going to do with that debt is something one should consider, especially if you are an investor. Now, one that is completely ripping it is Navitas, ticker NVTS. The stock was up roughly 25%. After hours, the stock is up another 6.4%. To be fair, there's no real updates to the stock. Maybe what the market wants you to say. So there are a few reports that are saying that Navitas is mainly up because today they did announce that they are reporting earnings on August 4th. I don't think the market will fly up over 24% because the market expects you to report earnings. Every company is expected to report earnings. What I think is happening, and there was also some other updates on July 1st where Navitas announced plans to kind of help to do some manufacturing with power chip semiconductor manufacturing. Outside of the earnings report, we actually got something else. And this actually came out on July 17th, but it's the closest thing that I can find right now. So right now, we can see that Navitas did announce a form of 13GA, and it's pretty much just saying that BlackRock, the huge investment company, owns about 5% equity. It was closer to like 4.97. Yeah, here we go. 4.97% equity is owned by BlackRock. So any form of ETF, big ETF approach here could be very bullish, as it does kind of create a little bit more excitement for the stock. And I do want to kind of explain a little bit of why Navitas is getting a lot of love lately, right? That kind of partnership with Nvidia, and right now with a market cap of $1.6 billion, one is looking for that next multi-bag or that next 10x or so on. So here I have this pretty cool presentation. So right now, this is a company that's going to be powering, in theory, the AI revolution. So the exponential AI power challenge. So the rise of sophisticated AI models has created this huge demand for power, far exceeding the capabilities of traditional silicon-based infrastructure. This power consumption is a primary driver for innovation in data center architecture. So this is just a very top level overview. So traditionally, right, not even traditionally, like the Hopper and stuff, they were about 1,000 watts per GPUs. The Blackwell's GPUs are about 1,200 watts per GPUs. The Rubin is expected to be much higher, roughly 2,500 watts per GPU. And this is insane because your traditional watts were in the kind of 10,000s of watts per rack. When you kind of now have these AI racks right now, you're going to about 100,000 watts per rack, and that's increasing dramatically. And as we go on to the next generation of GPUs, it's expected to get about 1 million watts per rack. And again, that is completely changing. It's massive growth in the power infrastructure, and it's completely changing the way things are needed, and a massive innovation is happening. So Navitas is a company that focuses on gallium nitride and silicon carbide, and these types of two technologies are very important and efficient for these high power solutions. Now, there are a lot of competitors in this space, but Nvidia has chosen to partner with many partners, and one of those partners was Navitas, to kind of build this 800 volt architecture. So management's greatest excitement, and this is coming from a presentation they did on June 2025, management's greatest excitement lies in the industry's wide shift to an 800 volt data center architecture. This fundamental change, championed by Nvidia, unlocks massive efficiency gains and requires a complete redesign of the power delivery chain, positioning Navitas technologies at the core of the revolution. So this is going to enable the use of solid-state transformers that connect directly to high voltages grid infrastructure. And this is pretty much it. Before normally you have to have a lot of step downs, and you kind of created a lot of inefficiencies and power loss happening. But Nvidia and with its partners is trying to find a way to reduce the complexity and increase the efficiency. So high voltage grid comes out at 10,000 plus volts. Navitas, with their power down, step down solid state transformers would kind of help bring that up and just put 800 volts directly into the rack. This is 20 times higher voltage than we're at right now with 400 times less current. Now, the 800 volt architecture aims for over 90% end-to-end efficiency, drastically reducing the energy wasted as heat, the largest operational cost in data center. So this is going to be crucial. And the thing that Navitas has with their competitive edge is they mentioned they are the only company creating true monolithically integrated GaN integrated circuits. They are already a leader in ultra high voltage with silicon carbide. They do have kind of that dual portfolio of GaN and silicon carbide, and they have a lot of customers and partners already in that system. Now, like I mentioned, they have a lot of strategic partnerships, which first is with Nvidia for the collaboration development of that 800 volt architecture. The second thing is they do have direct partnerships with hyperscalers already. More importantly, I thought this was pretty interesting. They are partnered with Infineon, which is a way bigger competitor than them. But the reason they partner with them is because they have a strategic dual sourcing to provide supply security for mainstream customers and capture larger market share. Now, if a huge competitor of yours is willing to partner with you, it's because you have something cooking. If I was number 1 and you were number 10, unless you're cooking something, I'm not going to partner with you, right? So I do believe that kind of brings some bullish thesis for the company. The company also does expect by 2027 and beyond, data center would be roughly 60% or more of its total revenue. So overall, a lot of excitement for Navitas, and this is one that's going to be a lot of very volatile throughout the upcoming AI era. And any bad news can obviously create some pressure here. Any great news, we can see these multiple returns. Right now, I wouldn't be chasing Navitas at all, but anywhere around the $6 price point, I think I would enjoy a position for sure. Now, the final company I want to take a closer look at is RXRX. This is a pharmaceutical tech, pharmatech company, biotech company, which is using AI to kind of design new drugs and models. Well, they do have technological partnership with Nvidia. Nvidia also owns a portion of this business and they haven't sold out just yet. Year to date, the stock is down roughly 11%, but we can see in the past month, the stock is ripping roughly 32%. I do own this in my portfolio. And again, I wouldn't be chasing anywhere at these levels. This is very small. It's kind of a speculative play. Now, the main thing that's happening here is nothing crazy happened today. Today just seems to be a very amazing day in the AI market. And usually those kind of days scare me a little bit. It tells me, maybe, Jose, would you want to start to build up a cash position here? And maybe I might start here because it is feeling a little toppy, right? I mean, it's feeling around that era. Right now, I'm not going to sell off any of my main players, but if I need to build off cash, there are certain positions I wouldn't mind kind of closing a little bit that's seen massive gains, or just maybe not investing too dramatically right now and just building up that cash position. But regardless, with RX, we saw earlier in July that they acquired the full rights of this form of medicine for treating this form of disease. Again, I don't want to fool you in thinking that I know what I'm talking about with this market, but that is kind of a potential excitement that came. Again, I do believe what happened today with a lot of these companies was just an excitement of a lot of these stocks tend to be really short, have high percentage of shorts. So it could be just a short squeeze happening in a lot of players. It could just be excitement of the AI space. They do have potential, right? These are not companies that are failing right now. They have some growth opportunities, like I mentioned, with the biotech and AI. There's definitely a good opportunity there. With Navitas, I kind of showcased that great presentation there of why the market is excited about that. For CoreWeave, obviously, we talked about the company before, and you can see kind of the growth opportunity with AI infrastructure. And with Nvidia, we obviously see that excitement with all the news we see today and kind of obviously the AI movement. So out of all of these, I really wouldn't be chasing any of them, to be honest. If I would want to buy any of them, it would be very small dollar cost average. And probably in forms of, if I was to rank them, maybe I would put Nvidia, the biggest position in my portfolio, small position in the Navitas, small position in the RX, and small position in CoreWeave. All those would be very speculative plays at these levels for sure. So let me know, what are your thoughts? Did you learn anything here in the AI market? If you want to check out my recent video on Intel's upcoming earnings, make sure to check this out. And Google's upcoming earnings, check this out. Must watch before the end of the day. So take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.